Paula. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for making it today. My name is Raed Al Emadi, and today I'll be talking to you about the importance of pausing, whether you've started the journey or you're about to. But I need to get something out of my chest. I mean, I was so excited about the fact that I'll be part of TEDx. But when they told me it's going to be paused, I thought to myself, am I that boring? Man, am I that old? People are playing, they're fast forwarding, and here I am, just talking about pause. But I had to do a lot of pause then, just to find out how am I going to talk to you about the importance of that. And I was reminded by a 1-minute video clip of a favorite show of mine by the name of Lost, whereby there was a dialogue about a young person at the time, somebody of your age, and he had to do lots of pausing. So if the guys in the back could please play the video.
Ludovico Buonarroti, Michelangelo's father. He was a wealthy man, had no understanding of the divinity in his son, so he beat him. No child of his was going to use his hands for a living, so Michelangelo learned not to use his hands. Years later, a visiting prince came into Michelangelo's studio and found the master staring at a single 18-foot block of marble. Then he knew the rumors were true that Michelangelo had come in every day for the past 4 months, stared at the marble, and gone home for his supper. So the prince asked the obvious, "What are you doing?" And Michelangelo turned around and looked at him and whispered, "Sto lavorando. I'm working." Three years later, that block of marble was the statue of David.
Isn't that profound? 3 years later, statue of David. 4 months of staring at a stone, at a marble stone. And yet, this young person was talked out of it. Can you imagine a world without the artifacts or the pieces of art that Michelangelo left us with? The Sistine Chapel, St. Peter's Basilica, statue of David. Now I know that the majority over here is between the age of 15 and 18, so some of you might be thinking, heck with it. As long as Facebook and Twitter are running, who cares? But then again, if you ask the founders of those websites, they'll tell you that they view themselves as artists nevertheless, and that they too had somebody tell them that this is a stupid idea. They too had somebody telling them, pursue a decent job. This is not going to get you anywhere. But because of them pursuing their own dreams, today we enjoy logging on to our Facebook accounts, we enjoy reading tweets, and some few of us actually enjoy being beneath the ceiling of a Sistine Chapel. And why am I saying this? The other thing that was revealed to us in this video was the importance of beginning with the end in mind. That's how you plan. Much like mountain climbing. You first pick the mountain that you want to climb, and then you set out the peak. And for the most time then, what you're doing is looking at your footsteps. You're not looking at the top, you're just looking at your footsteps for fear of falling off a cliff, right? But every now and then you would pause. You would look at the mountaintop. You would gaze at this top. And then you would relate your current position, these few small steps presently, to that final destination and future. Now, you're about to embark on the biggest journey of your lifetime, your future, your career. And why am I telling you this? Because I don't want you to be part of the everyday saga that I hear about. Somebody would come up to me and say, I think I've made a mistake with my first employer. And I say, what is that? And I'll just give the name of, this is true, by the way. Muhammad came to me with a mechanical engineering degree to say, I think I've made a mistake. And I say, why, Muhammad? And he said, well, I just don't know. And the more that I talk to Muhammad, I've realized one thing. He was in the wrong profession. He was in the wrong career. And I said, Muhammad, you're wanting to be a rock star. You don't want to be an engineer. But nobody told Muhammad to pause for a minute. Pause before you play. Pause before you fast forward and project yourself in the future. And understand, who is it that you are? What are your passions? What are the skills that you have that you need to polish further to get there? Now, you might wonder, am I the only one who's gone through this? And I'll tell you, you're not the only one. This is an epidemic in the region, whereby we are not set to pursue our goal. We don't pause for a minute to think, why don't I chase this dream of mine? Why don't I pursue a career that appeals to me, not to my parents, not to my friends, not to the community? It can be weird. So what? But I'll actually do something because I am an artist too in my own field. In one of the countries, I work in Silatech, which addresses youth unemployment and underemployment between the age of 18 to 30 in the whole of MENA, Middle East and North Africa. And in one of the countries, in one of the ministries, there was an opening of several hundred posts in a new division of a ministry. The number of applicants, 8. Not 800, not 80, not 8,000, not 800,000, 8 million. 8 million have actually applied for a job. And when I asked the most trivial question, are these unemployed? They said, no, not at all. These are all employed people. But they're sick and tired of their jobs. That's why they're looking for a new job. And, that's how the employer suffers. Because if I have an employee who's coming without the motivation every day to innovate because it's his passion, because it's something that he wants to fulfill, it's part of who he is, going there to work, working with colleagues, facing the challenges, that is defining me. That is my passion. That is one of the skills, the many skills that I have, so I'm okay with it. So the economy suffers because the employers suffer, and that's how you are paralyzed as a nation. It all starts with you. It's a vicious cycle. So you are the only one. You're not part of the problem. You're the solution to the problem, and it begins with you. So make that choice. The other thing that you can do before you start up this journey is go to career fairs, but instead of asking about the jobs, ask about the career itself. So don't go and say, well, what is your salary package? What time do you show up? And what time do you have to leave? No. If you are pursuing a degree in engineering, ask about the variation between a field engineer and a design engineer. And not only that, if you're asking a doctor, ask him what is a general hospital like as opposed to a private practice. How many patients do they see a day? What is it, the type of cases that they see? Is it fun? Is it not fun? What are the critical areas where somebody needs to pay attention? Get to know these glimpses of a career, because that can actually change your perception. That can change your choices. So what are we doing to help you with that? We in Silatech have started what we call Bidaya Center. Bidaya in Arabic means the beginning of a systematic approach to your dreams, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's another profession, or if it's a mere hobby. There's no stopping to it. But you gotta systematically, just as you're doing that mountain climbing, you have to actually pursue it. You have to walk, pause, look at the top, and pause again. So what you do is you walk in, and we'll give you a self-assessment tool that would reveal to you glimpses of who you are. What are your inclinations? What is it that you like? What is it that you appeal? What jobs do it, or what sort of industry appeals to you? And then we zoom in. We then ask you to have a list of activities that would help shape up these skills that you have. Networking events that will get you, if you had an interest in photography, we would get you with other photographers. And that way you grow your passion. And that way you're benchmarking. And that way you own that skill. And you polish it further to a mastery level. Because all of you have to be masters. The economy of Qatar, thank God, has changed drastically over the past decade, and now it's one of the most robust economies. And now, sky's the limit. We're not bounded by the challenges. Just as Michelangelo learned not to actually face the challenge and give up. So he didn't use his hands, he used his senses. You too can actually not be bounded and confined by the challenges that we have today. Think, when you fast forward, don't think about anything that opposes your dream. Think about the end. Where do you want to be? I'd wrap up with 2 final thoughts. One that is personal. When I was in 2nd grade, that was long, long ago, right? If anybody walked into our class and said, what is it that you want to be? 90% of the answers, you know what? Being a space astronaut. We didn't know why. It felt cool. Now, at the age of 32, I look back at my interesting friends, cool friends, but none of them is a space astronaut. And you know why? You know why only few people make it to outer space and fewer make it to the moon? Because they don't stop dreaming. When we all stop dreaming, we've compromised for something less. Or maybe we've actually found out something that appeals to us, a new passion, a new mountain to climb. In this crowd, I can't see your faces, but I know that you exist out there. The next Steve Jobs, the next William Shakespeare, the next guy who's going to take the Nobel Prize, the next lady who might win the best international movie for Oscar prize. You guys exist there. But it's your responsibility and ours to get that out of you. And do remember the following. Your future is the best marble stone you can get your hands on. Sculpture it the way you want. And leave a legacy behind, just as Michelangelo has left us with the statue of David. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.